This is my original Pokemon Emerald, but there's something wrong with it. See, there's 386 different types of Pokemon in this game, and after spending hundreds of hours playing Emerald and other games, I was able to catch 381. The years flew by and many new Pokemon games have come and gone, but there's 5 Pokemon I'm still missing, and today, almost 20 years later, I'm going back to Emerald and doing whatever it takes to catch them all. Very few people have ever managed to complete a Pokedex, and back in Gen 3, it was nearly impossible to do. There was no online trading, so if a Pokemon wasn't in your game, like Charmander not being in Emerald, then you had to either know somebody with the other game who had that Pokemon, or buy it and play through a whole different game just to trade it over yourself. And even if you managed to trade for hundreds of Pokemon that your game just didn't have, to truly complete your Pokedex, you're gonna need some event Pokemon, which, unless you went to a couple of limited time in-person events back in 2005, they are just impossible to get. You know, aside from using the old Game Shark. Or are they? Because I figured out a way to get them all. So let's get started with the first Pokemon I'm missing. Jirachi is a pretty interesting Pokemon, because even though it was nowhere to be found in any of the main series games, by looking outside of the Game Boy, you can still get Jirachi even to this day. There are 2 incredibly rare GameCube games that will reward you with a Jirachi. Years ago, I never had either of these games, but I'm tired of having those empty spaces in my Pokedex, so we're going to, good God, buy one of these so I could go ahead and get Jirachi in my Emeralds. I mean, hey, honestly, I've always wanted one, and it's nowhere near as bad as the TCG prices right now. And now, with my very own Pokemon Coliseum bonus disc, I could finally get Jirachi. So you need your Game Boy, Pokemon Ruby or Sapphire, and a cable. Ooh, you need a free space in your party? Oh wait, it actually gives you a tutorial on how to use the PC? I love that Pokemon, I love that so much. Sick team, by the way. Okay, now I have room for Jirachi. Error, the game pack is incompatible. Oh yeah, I didn't see that. It looks like my Sapphire got messed up. Giving it a good blow always fixes these games. It's time, boys, it's time! Let's get ourselves Jirachi! Jirachi leaving my Wii and going on to the Game Boy Advance. Let's check it out. There it is. You got Jirachi. Please take good care of it. Trust me, I will. Then after doing a quick little trade from my Sapphire to my Emerald version, we finally have Jirachi after all this time. Checking out the Jirachi, it's pretty cool too. Fateful Encounter, OT Wishmaker, and ID 2004-3, signifying the release of Pokemon Coliseum. Next up, we're getting the coolest Pokemon in all of Gen 3, Deoxys. It should be a crime that more people didn't get to use Deoxys in these games because it was such a fascinating Pokemon. It takes a different form depending on which game you're playing, so for that reason alone, I always really wanted one. With an event item called the Aurora Ticket, you could actually go to a special place called Birth Island and catch one yourself. Sadly for me, I never had the chance to experience this event because it ended way before I even had Pokemon Emerald. And for a while, that seemed like it was it. The event was over, no way to get Deoxys. But I'm not letting that stop me today. Using 2 very specific Pokemon from in-game trades, Dots the Seedots and Pluses the Plusle, which thankfully I had in my boxes even after all these years, I could break the game and unlock the Deoxys event. Fair warning, what I'm about to say next might sound like one of those crazy Pokemon playground rumors, but I promise you, it works. So I took Dots out of his box prison and EV trained him in a very specific way. I biked the 2 of them over to the Battle Tower and made loads of copies of them using the Battle Tower cloning glitch. Yeah, Pokemon Emerald, it was a very broken game and we're just getting started. I caught a Bayonet and treated it to 1 tasty HP up, then flew myself over to Oldale Town where I used that Bayonet in battle until it was down to exactly 1 HP. And the final thing that I need to do before the glitch starts to go really crazy is put all of my Pokemon away except for Bayonet, my fainted Swellow, and I just need a 3rd Pokemon in the party, so of course I want to use Jirachi. Then I got into a wild Pokemon battle, but instead of using my Bayonet, I immediately switched to Jirachi and ran away all the way back to the PC box, and I actually put Jirachi away. I open up my bag and use a Pomeg Berry on Bayonet, but when I do, instead of preventing me from using it because it's at 1 HP, it faints. My whole entire team has fainted! Yet I'm still walking around Hoenn like everything's normal. But things are not exactly as normal as they might seem, because we get into another Pokemon battle, and when you have a team full of fainted Pokemon, the game doesn't know what to do, so it sends out a Glitch Pokemon. By checking the summary of one of my fainted Pokemon, pressing B and holding up, it starts corrupting the data in my game, including the dots and pluses clones back in my PC box. We flee the battle, and when we go check on dots and pluses, they're not looking so hot anymore. Some of them turned into eggs, and others turned into bad eggs. What I'm looking for here is a dots that got corrupted into a normal egg with Pokerus in a nest ball. It took me a few tries doing this glitch, but eventually I got what I was looking for. What makes this egg so special is that when I hatch it, it will essentially read the names of my PC boxes as a custom code. By setting up my PC box names in a very specific way, when I go to Mauville City and hatch the glitchy dots egg, this happens. This glitchy diploma shows our box codes have been executed, and now this man over here who usually sings a gibberish song will instead activate the Deoxys event for us. And we have the Aurora tickets. Let's go set sail. Get on board, youngster. Aye aye, Captain. No music at all when we land over here, just this mysterious triangle. There he is, Deoxys! Listen to that glorious theme. Game Freak had no reason to go as hard as they did with the Deoxys soundtrack, and again, nobody got to hear it because it was hidden away in a secret event! Let's go ahead and fight you, Deoxys! Have my starter Sceptile over here, which thank God I gave it false swipe. Now, Blissey, sing this Deoxys a song, or miss. Alright, second time's the charm. Can we catch Deoxys? Oh, is this it? Yes! Deoxys is mine! Let's go! The third Pokemon that we'll be hunting down is none other than the original mythical Pokemon, Mew. Just like Jirachi and Deoxys before it, Mew is only available through special events. Here in America, Mew is only given out for one single day at Toys R Us stores for 3 hours. And apparently people who were waiting in line after the 3 hours were up were just told to go home. They didn't get Mew. I was 9 years old and had literally no idea this event was going on. So yeah, I completely missed out. However, the most interesting thing about Mew is there was an event coded into Pokemon Emerald where you could go to a place called Faraway Island and catch Mew. I actually have the artwork for it right there. But outside of Japan, they just never released the event. That's where our glitchy egg friend comes in again. I made loads of clones of the Dots egg, so I don't have to go through all the steps of glitching the game again. And now, all I have to do to activate the Mew event is change my box names to some very special code, hatch a Dots egg, and talk to my friend in the Mauville City Pokemon Center. Before we go sail away from Lilyport, I'm gonna grab a couple of Magikarp out of my box and release this thing. Trust me, you don't want to know what it does. Oh, this place is such a maze. Oh, there it is! Mew! Where'd you go, Mew? Oh, there's his tail. Playing a little hide and seek. Oh, wow, we caught him way quicker than I thought. Pokemon 151, Mew. Now, here's where the Magikarp come in. Get out here, floppy fish. Yay! Okay, that's not what I was expecting. Let's try again. Splash! Yes! Mew, you fool! Transforming into my Magikarp. Now, Mew is just as easy to catch as a Magikarp is. Alright, I only have 2 luxury balls, but considering this thing is at 1 HP and asleep, I'm feeling pretty good about this. 1, 2, 3, and yes! We have Mew! The second to last Pokemon that I'm missing might not be what you expect. It's not a mythical Pokemon, and it's not even exclusively locked behind events. The Pokemon I'm missing is Ho-Oh, a normal box legendary? For whatever reason, they made Ho-Oh and its counterpart Lugia very difficult to get in these games. Normally, you can't catch them anywhere in Kanto or Hoenn, so if you want to get these Pokemon, you're gonna have to go over to the GameCube. But the problem for me is, once again, didn't have the game. I almost had the chance to get Ho-Oh because I saved up my birthday money one year, but instead of buying Pokemon Coliseum, I chose to get XD Gale of Darkness instead. Who wouldn't choose playing the game where you could fight a Shadow Lugia over playing the one where you just see a regular Ho-Oh? Now, I still intend on someday getting Pokemon Coliseum and playing through the whole game, but today is not that day. For the third and final time, there is a hidden island in Pokemon Emerald where a special event lets you catch both Ho-Oh and Lugia. All these cool events in Emerald, and 99.9% of players never got to experience them. This is why I love glitches so much. Dots, my good friend, I call upon you one final time. Let's change up those boxes and use your corruption magic to give me the Mystic Ticket. Such a bittersweet moment, the last time we're gonna be setting sail with these guys. Wow! Hearing this track is crazy in Emerald. Well, it's fitting, the Johto track for the Johto Legendaries. Let's go catch them. In a split pathway. On the left, a ladder we can ascend. And on the right, we can go deeper into the rock. My intuition tells me that Ho-Oh, yeah, it's probably gonna be up this way. How many ladders are there? This doesn't look very safe. Any moment, this bridge can collapse and we'll meet our fate. Ho-Oh! Come on over here, buddy! The Pokemon I could have had, but I chose Lugia instead. So let's see if it's worth it. Purified Shadow Lugia versus Ho-Oh. Let's set up some rain, weaken that Ho-Oh's firepower. And it's trying to recover on the first turn? Are you kidding, Ho-Oh? Blast him with Hydro Pump! And, oh, that's actually not at much. Maybe I should have chose Ho-Oh. We're just gonna send it. Can we catch Ho-Oh with our first Ultra Ball, please? Oh, let's try it a second time. No, it's breaking out right away. All right, well, Lugia, come on. We can't let you faint to Ho-Oh. So I feel like it's the perfect time to throw out the Master Ball. And we did it! 385 Pokemon, baby. And this is it. The final Pokemon that I need to complete my Emerald Pokedex is Celebi. The only time you could get Celebi was when it was given away for the 10th anniversary Journey Across America tour, where Pokemon set up distribution centers which let you download Celebi into your game. And no, there's no secret Celebi Island anywhere. This was the only way to get it. So I was thinking, since this is my final Pokemon, I really want to make this one feel special. When I was doing my research on this event, I found out they actually gave out Celebi at a place that isn't too far away from me. And since I missed all these events back in the day, I kind of want to do whatever I can to get that authentic event feel. So instead of doing glitches or getting involved with all the craziness of the Japanese Coliseum bonus disc, we're gonna make our own event. Searching far and wide, I found out people actually make event distribution cartridges, which are effectively very similar to how they distributed Pokemon back in the day. So I got my hands on one and went over to the Roosevelt Field Mall in New York, where back in 2006, Pokemon actually gave out Celebi. When I got inside, I found the quietest area I could so I wouldn't look like a weirdo pulling a bunch of Game Boys out of a bag, and set up everything on a table. I turned on my Game Boy in a special download mode, and we've done it! 386 Pokemon! Completed Emerald Pokedex! 19 years in the making, it's finally complete. And of course, we can't forget about the most important reward, my very own diploma. I hope my fiance is proud of me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the journey as much as I did, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. So you want to know what this thing does? Well, I warned you. Let's check its summary and...